So moving on, I think we talked a lot about this, but I would say kind of the last key piece that I think really brings us together is talking about you have this. There's two tensions that exist that I think come up. You have collaboration, which is sharing and ease of access to a system, and security. These are always tension against each other, right? So how does Databricks or how do these this modern data platform take approaches to allow for ease of building the collaboration you need to get good analytics, do streaming insights, make sure you have good fraud detection, do compliance, while making sure that you're not leaking important PII and some of these core considerations?
Mm-hmm. That's a great question. So the again, going back to Unity Catalog, it is the kind of core of a lot of these pieces. But it is that central point of governance, and I think having one central point of governance is really key to having a governance program that can kind of like scale and be become manageable, or be manageable from the start and stay manageable in a lot of cases. So being able to take advantage of kind of like the things built into that for locking down PII, tagging data, masking data, having more fine-grained control over who can see what. That's all managed in that one layer, and I think there's continual investment from Databricks in that, with things like the attribute-based access control coming out recently as well, which is just a great model to think about adopting. But the other part of it is
huge step up.
A lot of these companies are sharing data with each other, and they need to be able to do that in a way that's secure and again scalable and auditable. So being able to take advantage of Delta Lake sharing and Databricks clean rooms to do that is a really I think really great addition to the overall scope of what these teams can do in terms of providing governance for their data and collaboration.
Yeah, I think there's really a lot of our clients are always asking about there's compliance requirements that keep parts of the department separate, but the whole thing, that's the death knell of the benefits of whenever you're thinking about data collaboration and making data accessible. So having options that are auditable, governed, and to still work within the restrictions of compliance, but and cooked right into the system. I think this is what you'd see, that penumbra effect of like these features stack it up, make it kind of really hard to ignore some of the benefits that you get inside of this. So, well, that's a pretty powerful walkthrough. I know this was reasonably high level. We wanted to talk about some specific use cases, but I think you really recapping those kind of 5 kind of areas we're seeing that Databricks really supports financial services architecture. You have that real-time fraud detection, so you're building in that kind of really quick fraud effort. The ability for compliance with your customer and AML, how you're able to build that with that metadata management. AI-driven tooling kind of built right on top of that unified data platform with really great ML development. Again, that's kind of Databricks bread and butter. You layer on top the ability to scale very efficiently with a reasonable control of total cost of ownership. And then ultimately getting a compliant and secure way to think about collaboration. I mean, putting those 5 points together, you kind of start to see how powerful these platforms are becoming. So if there's anything else that anyone diving in wants to understand a little bit more about the architectural design sitting underneath these, or wants to understand a little bit about assessment of where you are at against some of these features that really come kind of out of the box. One of the things we are so bullish on Databricks is the reason that's a more open system. So you can use parts of it in some ways. It's like you do need to kind of put some level of investment in it. But if you're trying to do just focusing on a machine learning workflow and you have an existing data ecosystem and other clouds, other ecosystems, it plays very well with a lot of systems. So let's happy to always engage and jump in further to dive to the next level. And I will tease that we have some actual technical demos of a lot of these different areas coming up shortly.